Hey everyone, today I want to talk about a different topic than I usually do on my channel. I am a massive nerd, and I think that is evident by this point, and as such I play a variety of nerdy games, one of them being D&D. I generally enjoy D&D, and one of my favorite aspects of the game is creating characters, but sometimes it feels like I'm fighting against the restrictions of the different classes when I'm trying to make a character. How so, you may ask? Well, another thing people who watch this channel probably know about me is that I very much so enjoy the aesthetic of the sea and the ocean. I own several books which feature seaside settings, including Ghosts of Saltmarsh. So how does this all fit together then? Well, D&D classes lack depth, or simply put, the classes in D&D don't give you many options to explore sea-themed characters. The best example of this, in the class which inspired me to make this series, is the Cleric. Now, technically speaking, the Sea Domain Cleric is supposed to be a sea-themed subclass, but storms and lightning do not equal ocean. I don't understand how D&D doesn't have a cleric domain dedicated to the ocean, seeing how ocean deities are a huge thing in real life and in fantasy. On top of that, the domains which exist for the cleric are already really similar to each other in theme and could have been combined, yet remain distinct. Light, order, and peace, nature and life, forge and light, grave and death, seriously? But for some reason, storms and ocean had to share, and even then, it's all lightning and thunder damage. So here's what I want to do. I want to go through the list of official D&D classes and create a new subclass for each one that lacks a meaningful ocean-themed option, starting with the Cleric. Even though all these subclasses will be related to the ocean or the sea, I will do my best to keep each one unique from each other. They're not all going to be pirate themed or kraken themed or this or that or another thing. I'm going to do my best to keep my subclasses broad in how they represent the ocean and the sea, while keeping true to their classes. Of course, my subclasses will be different from the current official subclasses as well. If you enjoy any of my ideas, you can find a document down below which contains these subclasses. So let's get started talking about the Sea Domain Cleric. The sea is a dangerous place. Scores of men have lost their lives trying to traverse the ocean waves, and entire ships have been lost to ravaging storms or monstrous deep-sea creatures. The Sea Domain Clerics seek to provide safe transport across waters, whether they serve on ships or in coastal temples. They may be sailors, ferrymen, lighthouse keepers, or priests and priestesses. So what makes them different from other clerics? Starting at level 1, Sea Domain Clerics gain proficiencies with martial weapons such as the trident and water vehicles. They also get the Blessing of the Sea. This blessing makes sure they are safe among the waves and in the waters of the ocean. They gain a swimming speed equal to their walking speed and the ability to breathe underwater. This is an innate feature which they always possess, but as an action, they can share these benefits with creatures they see within 10 feet of them, up to a number of creatures equal to 2 times their cleric level. These benefits last for up to 1 hour. They can only share this feature once every long rest, unless they expend a spell slot of any level, in which case it can be shared once more. This feature allows Sea Domain Clerics to save crew members who fall overboard or who drift out to sea. It also makes water a second home to them, being able to breathe and swim as well as a Triton or a Sea Elf. At level 2, Sea Domain Clerics receive their Channel Divinity, which is called To the Depths. As an action, they present their holy symbol and choose a number of creatures equal to their Wisdom modifier within 30 feet of them. Each creature instantly takes 2d4 bludgeoning damage and must make a strength saving throw against the cleric's spell save DC. On a failure, the creature is knocked prone, and at the start of each of their subsequent turns, they must reattempt this saving throw. On each failure, their speed is reduced to 0 and they remain prone. However, if the target creature is in the water, it is pulled down 10 feet in addition to being knocked prone each time it fails its saving throw. This effect lasts for up to 1 minute, and at level 14, the range of this ability increases to 60 feet. Enemies of the Sea Domain Clerics are fighting against the ocean itself, so it makes sense for them to be even more dangerous in the water. If a creature without a swim speed or water breathing should fail its saving throws, it gets pulled further and further into the depths, and the dangers of drowning become more and more real. This effect can take the form of swirling water, battering enemies and knocking them off their feet, or magical tentacles, which drag and hold on to enemies. At level 6, the Cleric's Blessing of the Sea is upgraded, granting them resistance to cold damage, immunity to non-magical difficult terrain while underwater, and being able to share this feature within 30 feet of you instead of 10. They also get the Ocean's Ambassador feature, which allows them to cast Speak with Animals to communicate with creatures which have a swimming or flying speed. Sea Domain Clerics can use this feature up to their proficiency bonus, regaining all uses on a long rest. By now, the Sea Domain Cleric is an expert at protecting people from the dangers of the ocean. They can also communicate with all sorts of marine life, from squids to sharks to seagulls. At level 8, clerics get access to their potent spellcasting or divine strike ability. Nowadays, there are optional rules to take either version you'd like for whatever fits your character the best. I am usually always for these kinds of optional features, so I'll let you choose which one you want. If you do choose the Divine Strike feature as your ability though, it will deal an extra 1d8 cold damage on one attack on each of your turns, increasing to 2d8 at level 14. Finally, at level 17, the Sea Domain Cleric now carries the full Wrath of the Sea. They get access to the Crushing Waves feature, which makes hostile creatures within 60 feet of them have disadvantage on saving throws against their channel divinity. Furthermore, hostile creatures within 60 feet of them, which are prone, restrained, or grappled, have disadvantage on all strength and dexterity saving throws. The ocean is a dangerous place for those unable to move. Like the old saying says, sink or swim. Lastly, there are the domain spells to talk about. At level 1, Sea Domain Clerics always have access to create or destroy water, as well as Fog Cloud. At level 3, they get Gust of Wind and Lesser Restoration. Level 5, they get Daylight and Tidal Wave, while at level 7, they receive Black Tentacles and Control Water. Lastly, at level 9, they get Control Winds and Maelstrom. I imagine Sea Domain Clerics being experts at area control, while also having tools to save their allies in a pinch. They are a force to be reckoned with for sure, but their lack of heavy armor proficiency means they are at their best when outside the thick of combat. They also have a lot of tools to use creatively to ensure ships get to their destinations safely, with options like Daylight and Control Winds. Now you too can worship Poseidon or Valkyr and set sail knowing the gods of the sea have your back. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope you enjoyed my Sea Domain Cleric. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below and what class you'd like to see next. I'll be back soon to talk about the Demons of Tzeentch, but until then, thanks and have a great day.